Oh my God. You don't know how many times I have done this video. You don't want to know. I seem to be like completely out of it today. Good morning, everyone. We're doing the Garcia Canclini discussion today. Before we start, I wanted to tell you a few things. Next week we have a midterm. And so the format is going to be very different. We're not going to do a discussion and then an essay at the end of the week. At the end of this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about what the midterm entails. And then, of course, there will be detailed directions online for you to do it. But just be aware that next week is a different format. We had a long reading this week. We had a long reading last week. I'm really sorry about putting them together. But next week, because we have the midterm, we have no readings. The week after that, we're watching a film, but we're not reading anything. So it's going to be a slightly different week. We go back to our normal scheduling the week after that, but just be aware that you're not going to you're going to have to do a lot of readings in the next 14 days, more or less. I'll talk about the midterm at the end of the discussion. I think the only thing that I want to go over today is the quote. I think most of you got quite beautifully the incompleteness of the four definitions. And it was really interesting, and I actually love that very much, that everybody sort of leaned very much towards the life experience definition, which is because it's very attractive. But I sort of want to stress that we need to have all of them. If the moment we start emphasizing one, then we start forgetting. If we only talk about life experience and we don't include history, if we don't include space, then things get incomplete. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like giving this reading in this class, because it's quite important for us to realize, as you say in the discussions very, very well, there's no one definition. There are so many experiences and so many spaces and so many historical processes that exist in a city that it is irresponsible to only use one of those four definitions. So let's move on. I want to talk about the quote because I think many of you got confused with the word imagined. Let me read it here again. We should think about the city as simultaneously a place to inhabit and a place to be imagined. Cities are made of houses and parks, streets, highways, and traffic signals. And this is the key, but they are also made of images. And he goes on, these images include the maps that invent and give order to the city, but novels, songs, films, print media, radio, and television also imagine the sense of urban life. I think you were thinking of imagine as imagining, as creating an image in your head of the city. He's talking about something slightly different. He's talking about the way we see the city is, of course, its material dimension, the buildings, the bridges, the people that live in it. But also, we are influenced by all of the things in media, all of the things in culture, all of the things in the arts that create an image of the city. In a way, this class is that quote, that we're constantly talking about the experience of living in the city, and then the contrast or the parallel sometimes on how film and television represent the city. And so when he's talking about imagined, he's talking about images. He's not talking about imagining a city. Some of you use the word utopia. And what you said is not incorrect. It's just that it's not what he's saying in this quote. And so I want you to think about sort of the material city and the imagined city. And this imagined city is created by the series of images, by the title credit in Sex and the City, by Blade Runner, by movies like the one we saw last week, by Double Indemnity. It was interesting how you talked about the idea that this is not the LA that I've been to when I go to LA. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. So think about it that way. Think about it that way. That word imagined is about the construction of images to represent the city. So keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about the midterm. I am going to give you detailed descriptions of everything that you need to do, but let me tell you in general what you're going to be doing. You're going to watch a film that we have not discussed in class, and I want you to use everything that you can use from the discussions and from the essays and from the quotes to do an analysis of the urban space in this film. I'm going to give you a little bit of background in the instructions. It's a film from North Africa, and it is set in the city of Algiers. And it is an amazing, complex, interesting, visually stunning film. So that's one part. And you're going to watch the film, you're going to write an essay on it. And you just simply upload it. You watch the movie at some point next week, and you upload it. The other part is that I'm going to give you a series of quotes from all the essays and all the quotes that we have discussed in class. Sorry, that was it. Somebody sending me all sorts of kisses in my text. Sorry about that. Now I got completely distracted, and I'm not remaking this movie again. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Series of quotes. You get to select. So I don't know. I have a whole bunch of quotes right now. I haven't decided exactly how many, but let's say that I give you like 6 or 7. You need to do 4. Or maybe if I give you 6, you need to do 3. Haven't decided yet, but you get to choose the ones that you want to do. You need to explain what the quote means, and that you based on my video wrap-ups, on the discussions that we've had, etc., etc., etc. And then I want you to use examples from the class to substantiate what that quote is actually saying. You can use the examples that we use in class for that essay, or you can use others. Absolutely. I have no problem with that. Be aware, guys, that when we do the discussions, sometimes people are saying things that are not quite there. And so don't take the whole discussion on faith. I want you to sort of relate the discussion with the video wrap-up to sort of be able to determine what's really going on in those quotes. So be careful about sort of reading the discussion and just sort of saying, but they said it there. Well, the reason why I have the video wrap-ups is because I want to sometimes clarify what we say in those discussions. And so be a little careful about that. If you have questions about that, email me. And those are not going to be essays. Every time you explain a quote, they're going to be paragraphs. And they're extended paragraphs, but they're not, don't think about an introduction, conclusion, and all of that stuff. You go to the point, you explain the quote, you give me a couple of examples. I'm going to ask for 2 for each paragraph from any of the television shows or the films that we have seen in the class. I should have all of this ready by Sunday morning. I'm at the Chicago International Film Festival there every day. And so I don't think I will be able to do it until Sunday morning. But you should be there by Sunday morning, and you have all week to do it. It doesn't matter when you do it, because there's no discussion, there's no opening and closing. The exam will close Sunday of the following week. I don't have the date with me, but a week from this Sunday. So you have 7 days to do the midterm. All right? Sorry. Oh, that's almost 8 minutes. I gotta go before it turns into 8 minutes. Bye.